Yeah, woo! Feels amazing outside today. Right now it's in the mid-50s, but it's supposed to be in the mid-60s here in the next couple of hours, so even right now in the mid-50s it feels freaking awesome outside. It's good weather. I know a lot of people who say they won't ride unless it's above 65 degrees. I really don't know why. I mean, 55 is not bad. It feels good. It's a little chilly. I mean, you got a little bit of a chill coming through, but it's not as bad as they make it sound like it is. Like, oh, 55, it's too fucking cold to ride. Like, no, it's not. It's not cold at all. You'd think that these people grew up in like freaking southern Florida, where the winter time it only gets to 75 degrees. Like, come on, man, 55 is not cold. I ride to work in the mornings in the winter time when it's freaking lower 20s. I mean, come on now. That's cold. Or a couple of years ago, whenever we had like super cold rolling through, I don't know what the deal was, but we had like a winter to where it was like really freaking like Canadian type cold for like 3 weeks straight, something like that. It was like 6 degrees, which I guess that's like -7 or -30 or some shit like that in Celsius. I don't really know. I don't know the Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion chart by heart. But yeah, I mean, I remember one morning I left work, it was 8 degrees. Went into work that night, I was working night shift at the time. Went into work that night, it was like, I don't know, it was maybe in the 50s, 40s, something like that. So I was thinking, oh, okay, it's only gonna be like in the 20s, maybe 30s in the morning. Because that's what it listed as on the radar, said it was only supposed to be like in the 20s. Well, we had like a really big cold dip. And it just dipped within a few hours, went from like 20 degrees to like 4 degrees. I was like, holy shit, this is gonna suck on the way home. And luckily, you know, the sun comes up about, or at the time, the sun came up, you know, maybe like an hour before it was time to get off work. So I had enough time to warm it up a little bit. But man, I left, it was 8 degrees. I was like, are you friggin' kidding me? And that's before I started vlogging, so no video of that. But yeah, I was on my little Honda Shadow. It took me like 45 minutes to get my bike started and warmed up to be able to leave. Still had to ride the entire way home with the choke on. Mainly because I don't live far enough away from work for my bike to really get warm by the time I get there. That's the good thing too. I mean, it takes me like 15-20 minutes to get to work, so I didn't have to deal with it as long. Some guys at work, you know, have to ride freaking an hour and a half. And they're all like, man, you're lucky you live so close, you don't have to worry about the cold for as long. I'm like, yeah, but it's still cold. I might not have to ride in it for an hour like you do, but damn, it's still fucking cold. It's not like it's still, you know, it's not like it's a walk in the park. I'm not like, yay, it's 8 degrees, I'm just gonna cruise to work today, woo. No, it's still fucking cold. It's not like it makes it more fun because I have less time to travel. Ah, cool, we're still recording. I keep getting SD errors and it's pissing me off. And I never know when I have it because the light's still red whenever I get the SD error because the freaking GoPro's charging. So I can't tell if I'm recording or if it's just charging and I have an SD error. Gotta check it every now and then. Need to buy me a little Wi-Fi remote. Maybe some of you guys out there in YouTube land can help me out with this, because I don't know what the hell my deal is with this fucking GoPro. I keep getting an SD error. You sure I don't have another one while I'm trying to tell you about it? But whenever I'm running the GoPro with the, I have a battery pack in my pocket. I have it plugged into it. I plug it in, I power it up. GoPro's charging, I turn it on, sync it up with my Sena with the GP10 on the backpack, and then I hit record on the camera, and it just sits at 1 second for about maybe 3 or 4 seconds. It'll just say 1 second, and then it pops up SD error. I don't know why. I'll restart the GoPro, turn it off, turn it back on 3 or 4 times, and then it finally fixes itself and starts recording. It's starting to get really frustrating. I've gone through so much shit since I fucking started using GoPro, it's insane. I'm about to just say fuck it, sell it, and go back to the drift because it was easy. All I had to do was put it on my helmet, hit record, and that was it. I mean, there was never any problems. Every now and then it might do that little drift glitch to where you hit record and then 10 seconds later it just stops recording again, and then you just restart and it's good. It just does that every now and then with the drift. It was rarely ever, but the GoPro has been nothing but problems since I bought it. Nothing but problems. And I don't know why. It started out with it giving me an SD error when I was using the freaking battery eliminator. Like, how the fuck does a battery eliminator give you an SD error? It's just a charging cord. Has nothing to do with memory. I don't understand why it does that. It's just been nothing but just bullshit since I got it. Sorry about that little pause there for a moment. I got a phone call from my boy Jimmy. But yeah, back to where was I talking about? Oh yeah, the SD error. I'm not sure why it keeps giving me an SD error or what the deal is or how to fix it. So if any of you guys have any solutions to that, let me know, because it is freaking insane and retarded and annoying, and it's just getting on my nerves having to deal with this every single time I put the freaking camera on my head. Because it's usually when I first start out at the beginning of the day, I'll put it on my helmet and I'll start recording and I'll go somewhere. If I stop somewhere and have to turn the camera off, like, you know, I just got done, I was running around earlier recording, everything was fine, went and ate some food, came back out of the restaurant, hooked it up to my helmet, and what do I get? A fucking SD error. And it's like that for the rest of the day every time I restart the camera. It was like that yesterday. Went for a ride with my wife, and every single time that we got off the bike and I turned the camera off, whenever we got back on, I turned it back on, it gave me an SD error. And I had to sit there and restart the GoPro over and over and over again before it finally started working again. It's just freaking annoying. So if I don't get it fixed and figure out what the deal is within the next couple of days, then I'm just gonna say fuck it. I'll just go back to regular GoPro and I'll sell the GP10. Go back to just regular GoPro and the battery eliminator, and then if it restarts again after that, then I'll just sell the whole damn thing and say fuck it and use my drift. Because I'm just getting tired of dealing with it. So yeah, that's the issue I'm having right now. Because when I first got the thing, you know, I was having issues with that, with the SD error, with the battery eliminator, and I found out what it was. Basically all it was if I ever had the battery eliminator plugged into the back of the GoPro, but not plugged into a power source on the other end, then it would give me the SD error. Which kind of sucked, because that means I had to take the cord off every time I'm not using the battery eliminator or not using the battery pack. So if I just want to like right now, I have this cord on the GoPro wrapped around the stem of the links or whatever, like the mount, and then I got the tip of it where the USB side is. I got a piece of Velcro on it, it's Velcro to my helmet, so it stays there. All I gotta do is just pull up the retractable cord, plug it in, and I'm good. And it's always there. I don't want to have to take that cord off and unwind it every time I'm not going to be using the battery pack. So it's a pain in the ass dealing with that, but I figured out what it was. I would have to plug the battery eliminator into the power pack, make sure the power pack was on and charging, and then turn the camera on and everything was fine. But with the backpack, with the GP10, I can't do that. It's not the same type of issue, because I've tried it. I've turned the camera on without the cord plugged in, Because, you know, you don't need a battery eliminator when you have a backpack, because you can just plug it into the USB just like you can with a drift and charge it like that. But I tried taking the cord completely off, and it didn't give me the SD card error. I plugged it in without plugging it into a power source. It gave me an SD error. I plugged it in with it plugged into a power source, thinking it was the same thing as the battery eliminator problem was. Still didn't work, gave me an SD error. So I'm just stumped. I don't know. I mean, I've reformatted the card. I've done everything I could think of to try to make this work. Reformatted the card on the GoPro and through the computer. I just don't know what else to do, so I'm asking for your guys' opinion if you've any of you guys have had this trouble before. Because like I said, if it continues, fuck it, I'm not using the GP10 anymore. I just won't be able to have dual vlogs, and I'll have to rerun a microphone into my helmet. So, yeah. Which sucks because the audio on this is pretty good now that I figured it out. Because that was one of my other problems I was having, is it took forever to figure out how to get the audio right. It's a pain in the ass. So much pain. And if I ever switch helmets, which I will, I mean, it's inevitable. I'm not going to wear the same helmet for the rest of my freaking life. Then I'll have to reset up the entire fucking thing and do it all over again. It's almost to the point now where it's like, is it actually worth it? Is it worth all the trouble that I'm going through? When I might just say, fuck it, put the drift back on and use a GoPro as a secondary camera angle. And put it on my freaking brake reservoir or my fucking headlight hood or something like that.